What's happening, people? It's your boy Andre Romance, and I'm up at this thing again. Today, I just want to talk to y'all about being patient and life. One of the most important things that you need to have is patience. And even if the situation is looking bad for you, even if it look like all odds are against you, it's very important that we have patience through the times of struggling, or the times where we feel like we don't totally understand something. It's very important that we remain calm. A perfect example is when dealing with children. Like in that video, when you're dealing with children, it's there's a level of patience that you have to have, because you have a greater understanding of what it means to deal with children. Okay, it's the idea of knowing that you are in charge of a certain scenario. You're in charge of a certain event that's happening in your life, and how well you do on that test is going to play a big part in the results that you get. Okay, so when we go back and we start looking at patience, we start looking at the mindset. Okay, when you have a good mindset about the things that are happening in your life, that it pushes you further beyond where you would be if you was just stressed out about it and you lost focus. Okay, so we want to shift our focus back to our main objective, which is what I want you all to focus on tonight, and that would be self-growth. Okay, it's very important that we focus on self-growth, because self-growth is not just dealing with one aspect of life. When I say self-growth, I mean everything that is a part of your life could either cause you to grow, or it can cause you to shrink. Okay, and so we want to grow. Okay, we want everything that's happening in our lives to project us to the next level of where we want to be in life. Okay, and so with that being said, we have to put our focus in patience. Okay, what it means to have patience is to know that there is a time for everything. Okay, and when you know that there's a time for everything, you can recognize when certain parts of life are happening, whether it's fear or act of love, out of love and kindness, being on edge, being angry. All of these things have different portions and different times in your life. Okay, and it's very important that we understand where they come into play when it comes to patience. Now, when it comes to all of these different aspects of life, there are different levels of patience that come along with them. Love, there's a certain amount of patience you have to do, or you have to have, in order to reach that level of love that you're trying to get to. Okay, when you're going through anger, there's a different type of level of patience that you have to have when dealing with anger. All of these things, they convert back to this link that is tied in with patience. And so today, focus particularly on the path that you're on, right? And if you can imagine yourself walking down this road, whether it be a windy road or a straight road, whichever one you are on, the key idea is that your patience is there in the journey. Okay, becoming aware of where you are in your path in your life, and then also being able to withstand how long it's going to take you to get to your destination. Okay, whatever that goal is in your life. And so in this time, like, we're all locked away in our houses and trying to practice self-distancing and all these things. There's a level of patience that have to come along with that. And when dealing with your patience, sometimes you have to figure out where to focus your attention, so that the patience is less of a burden. Okay, so I'll put it this way. So you have different levels of your patience, right? And if you have different categories in life that require a certain amount of patience, you want your focus to probably be in the area where you can have the most patience. You know what I'm saying? For me, I have a lot of patience when it comes to waiting. Okay, when it comes to dealing with emotions, I have a great level of patience. Okay, and so uh, since it doesn't require a lot of my energy to have patience when it comes to my emotions, it's very easy for me to make it through things that happen that other people would snap about, because I have this greater understanding about events happening in your life, and how they're just moments passing. They aren't moments that you are experiencing in an infinite time. It's just something that you experience and it passes. Okay, and so I like to believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything happens as a reaction to something previous. And so when we are looking at life, when we are trying to accomplish our goals, when we are in a place where we're waiting for something, or we're trying to figure something out, that level of patience is everything. It really is everything. And sometimes it takes everything within your power to accomplish that level of patience that you need to get to your next level. So I encourage you all to focus your patience. Okay, start practicing on that patience. This is a great moment that we do actually venture into practicing patience, because I know some of us, man, we can't sit in the house forever, and some of us, we need to get out and be active in the world and all that stuff, and it's very hard to sit still for some of us. So I say, when in times like these, you have to put your patience towards things that you are more prone to doing. If you have talents, goals, if you have a business that you've been trying to work on but you hadn't had time, if you needed to catch up with some old family members, or get online and work with some other people, try to get your networking going on. All of these things, they have different levels of patience. And so where you are easily influenced to do better in your life, where you are easily pushed towards happiness, that's where you want to put your patience. Okay, I wouldn't say avoid your issues, but this is the time that you are practicing what it means to be patient, and what to do in your time of patience. Okay, so this I look at as a one of those times of patience where we are actually hit or miss right now. Okay, this is one of those times where either you're productive or you're not, and it is really going to show once things start to really take off and kick up, because this is, I believe, the beginning phases of what we're going through here. It's just a test, a trial and error period of what the system is really trying to do to us as a overall. Okay, there are so many parts and pieces playing in the background, and it's not going towards our favor. If you all understand what I'm talking about, and so we have to be prepared, right? We have to be prepared for things that are going to happen. And in most cases, some of us, we need to start preparing for the worst, because we work in industries that are going to be less likely to start back right away. Okay, and so with that being said, we need income, and we need capital to happen, while we're at the house. So in that sense, we need to start working towards a backup plan, a plan B, in order to withstand through this time of patience. Okay, and so with patience, it really is going to take that practice. Like, it's going to take this understanding that in order to get to point B, you have to start at point A. Okay, and in order to make it to point C, you have to make it to point B. And in order for those things to happen, we have to come up with the right route to get there. Okay, like I said, whether your road is straight and narrow, or whether it's wide and curvy and all that stuff, You are on a road, and it's up to you what road you choose to take along your way in your journey. But overall is that we are growing. You know, we are utilizing this time to grow ourselves and to better our understanding of what lies for our future. Now, when dealing with your future, when you're dealing with goals and dreams, it's important to have somewhat of a vision of what it's going to look like along the way. And a lot of people don't preach this. A lot of people don't teach that in order to win something, in order to achieve something, you have to be able to already see yourself there and experience it mentally. And so, with that being said, you have to calculate the obstacles and things that are going on as well. So, if you, like, for instance, you already have a business plan set forth, right? And you have for your business plan that was already written out, you already had a specific route for the way things were going to play out. Now, being that we are in this pandemic, that could change the income dramatically, and so that capital that you would have had, you're not going to have anymore, because there are things that are shutting down. There's talk about the post office shutting down soon. With the post office shutting down, it is going to ruin a lot of home-based businesses that sit on their merchandise. People are not going to be able to get those shipments. These are things to start looking into. Also, if we are getting some sort of stimulus from the government, and they aren't, utilizing the postal service, if you don't have a bank account, how are you going to receive that money? We have to start thinking about these type of things. So you have to go back and reassess what the plan was previously. You have to reassess that business plan, and you have to come together with the new alternative plan, an alternative route for the way that you wanted to do things before. And so that requires that patience that I was talking about. Okay, it's knowing that you have to go through a certain amount of steps to get where you're trying to get, and then being patient through that time frame that you're going to meet your mark. Okay, it's having that confidence that you are going to have it all where you need it to be. Okay, and so, like me, I'm getting involved with stocks. I'm not exactly sure where the direction of stocks will go, because there is a lot of talk about new currency coming as well. If you all haven't been up and paying attention to these things, it's a whole lot of stuff happening as far as every country becoming under one umbrella. And there are quite a few movies that you can look at that kind of explains and breaks down what's going on today, okay, as we are going through it, especially with this economy. The economy is taking a huge nosedive, and it is very important for us to see how it's going to play, where things are going to go as far as our personal careers or jobs that we have been having over the years, okay, and how that's going to impact us on an individual level. So I hope that I'm helping my people to grasp a better understanding. Also, bring that awareness that we do have to start thinking about these things, and we do have to come to an understanding that we have to have patience in order to get where we're trying to get, and in order to come up with an effective plan for the worst, in case the worst happens. Okay, so in these times like these, you always want a backup plan. You have to have that backup plan. You have to have your best case scenario, and you have to have your worst case scenario, and somewhere down the middle is where that path is. But you all keep me up. I'm gonna keep you all up as well, and I'm out of this thing, man.